Tonight on the Northwestern News Report, campus food service workers reached an agreement with Compass Group following months of negotiations.
And Mayor Biss announces he's running for Congress. We have the latest on Evanston politics.
Plus, students leave Dillo Day 2025 with a pocket full of sunshine. We'll bring you to the carnival.
All that and more tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news right now. Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Max Rothvetter.
And I'm Alicia Browner. It's great to be with you on the last regular show of the school year. The senator representing NU College Republicans in Northwestern's Associated Student Government is facing a possible impeachment challenge from one of his fellow senators. Very little information is public right now, but according to a statement from the ASG Senate parliamentarian and Chief Justice, Senator Kobe Pottishman of the Resilient Club recently filed 2 impeachment articles against College Republican Senator Hunter Gracie. It's unclear why the articles of impeachment were filed. While a public hearing on the impeachment was planned for tomorrow night, the proceedings are temporarily suspended due to the involvement of the Office of Civil Rights at NU, according to the statement. NNN reached out to Senator Gracie for comment, but he says he is, quote, unavailable to provide substantial information, unquote, due to the confidential nature of the ongoing investigation by OCR.
Unite Here Local 1, the union representing Northwestern food service workers, reached an agreement on Friday with the school's food service provider, Compass Group. Negotiations over this contract started last fall and have been nearly 9 months in the making, including a strike in the process. Now, according to a Compass spokesperson, the agreement includes both immediate and long-term wage increases and a 250% increase in employer pension contributions for university food service workers. This newly ratified contract is set to expire in August of 2029.
Former President Joe Biden announced a serious health update this past weekend. I spoke with a Northwestern medicine oncologist about his diagnosis.
Former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer, according to a statement from his personal office on Sunday. With a Gleason score of 9, it has spread to his bones.
It's on the more aggressive side, and without treatment, you would expect it to progress and cause harm to the patient.
The CDC reports that 13% of all men will have prostate cancer at some point in their lives.
Though all men are at risk for prostate cancer, the CDC says age is the most common risk factor. Although some medical experts are speculating Biden had the cancer while still in office, that information still remains unclear.
It's possible that the prostate cancer was there when he was in office. It's also possible that it developed afterwards. I don't think there's any way to know that. Even if I was his doctor, I don't think I could say that.
All over the country and here in Chicago, people are reacting to the news.
I feel badly for him. I think he was a good man, and I hope it's treatable successfully.
It was very sad, and I wish him well, and I hope he makes a full recovery.
I feel bad for him, and I feel bad for his family. I mean, human nature tells you to be that way, and that's how I feel.
It's arguably one of the worst things that can happen to any human being, regardless of the type of cancer, how serious it is. I mean, it's terrible. So regardless of your political views, you got to feel for the Biden family.
Biden posted on X saying, "We are strongest in the broken places," and thanked people for love and support.
Biden says his doctors are considering options to treat the cancer. Now moving local, Mayor Daniel Biss is running for Congress. Joining us now in studio to discuss the news is NNN's Allison Miller. Now, Allison, was this decision unexpected?
Yeah, Alexia, it actually confirmed what people had been speculating about for weeks. So far, 6 people have said that they're campaigning for current Representative Jan Schakowsky's seat. That includes the state senator for Illinois' 9th District, Laura Fine, and a progressive influencer, Kat Abigazale. Biss decided to throw his hat in the ring the morning after his State of the City address. He sent out a news release and posted a video announcement on YouTube. In the video, he says he's running because of a need for Democrats who won't flinch, won't fold, and won't forget what they're fighting for.
Now, people might be wondering, is the mayor of Evanston qualified to go to the U.S. House of Representatives?
Great question. He actually has some pretty extensive experience. We know this isn't Biss's first campaign. He's been both a state representative and a state senator. He mentioned his policy successes in those positions when he launched his campaign. In 2018, he ran for Illinois governor, but ended up losing the Democratic primary to J.B. Pritzker. That takes us to now, where he was just re-elected for a second term as mayor. It's a pretty comprehensive political history here in Illinois, so it'll be interesting to see how voters think he stacks up against his opponents.
And Allison, you said that Biss is just at the start of his new term as mayor. What happens in Evanston if he gets elected to the U.S. House?
There are a lot of hoops that he has to go through to get to that point. First, he has to win the congressional primary in March 2026. Then, if he advances to the general election on November 3rd, he would have to resign as mayor before taking office in Congress. Since there will be more than a year left in his term, the Evanston City Council will elect one of its members as the acting mayor. Then the city would hold a special election within a few months to fill the vacancy for the remainder of Biss's unfinished term until 2028.
Thank you, Allison. NNN will continue tracking the Senate and House races and will keep you updated as candidates join the race.
A rare and powerful dust storm swept through northern Illinois this past Friday, turning skies an eerie brown and nearing whiteout conditions. NNN's chief meteorologist Emmanuel Perez has more on this rare phenomenon.
On Friday afternoon, Chicago witnessed an unusual sight. A dust storm warned weather phenomena, swallowing the city and reducing visibility with winds up to 70 miles per hour. The storm lifted dry soil and construction dust into the air. The storm led to significant disruptions, with visibility dropping as day became night.
I was walking down Sheridan and I was like, why did it just get dark all of a sudden? And then later on I started noticing that my eyes were kind of watery, and I feel like it was because my eyes were just getting dry. And I was getting a weird taste in my mouth, I don't know, it just was really different.
The dust reached as far north as the metro. The National Weather Service in Chicago says the last time this happened was on May 10th, 1934, during the Dust Bowl era. Reporting from Evanston, Emmanuel Perez, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Emmanuel, for that update, and we'll have this full week's forecast coming up in a bit. Now, after the break, a breakdown of the tuition increases for the 2025-2026 school year. That's up next.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, four.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Next tonight, students will pay more to attend Northwestern next school year. Northwestern announced earlier this month that tuition will be $69,375 for the 2025 to 2026 academic year. Now, that's a 3.3% increase from this year. When you include room, board, and fees, the total price comes to $96,236 for undergraduate students. Now, this tuition increase appears to follow the historical pattern of about 3 to 4% annual increases per year, which we've seen each of the last 5 years. Now, this comes despite uncertainty in federal funding.
I would have to imagine that it has some influence, but honestly, if those have impact, you should see much bigger changes than 3%.
Economists generally agree that the benefits of getting a higher education degree outweigh the steep costs.
it turns out, as expensive as it is, the data just continues to back up that it's worth it.
And while the price tag is getting higher, so is the amount of financial aid. The university noted in a news release that over 60% of students receive financial aid, with the total amount of aid increasing 46% since 2019. Now, we reached out to the university for an official comment on the reason for this tuition increase, but they did not directly answer our question, instead pointing to the article from Northwestern Now. Alexia?
Northwestern's World Affairs Group hosted their first annual symposium on Thursday. It's centered on concerns about foreign aid programs being cut. The Trump administration stopped funding USAID back in February.
We can't do things like pull out of the Paris Climate Accord. We can't pull out of the deal to denuclearize Iran. We have to be more predictable and reliable.
WAG is hoping to expand their membership. You can learn more on their Instagram at NU World Affairs Group.
Medill's San Francisco bureau will close next year, bringing the Bay Immersion program to an end. NNN's Alex Zhang has more on the university's decision to not renew its lease.
Sewing dresses, developing products for Amazon, and catching acrobatic shows. Medill's second-year Maya Wong is doing it all through the Bay Area Immersion program. Even as a Bay Area local, Wong says the experience feels fresh, inspiring, and full of surprises.
I think it was also really fun to show my friends from the program around where I'm from. So I hosted my friends over, we went to my sister's choir concert. My parents hosted a paella dinner.
But that is all history. Northwestern announced on May 1st that it will not renew its lease for the San Francisco campus, marking the end of all programs held at the site since 2016. These cross-group programs, run in partnership between Medill, McCormick, Kellogg, the Siegel Design Institute, and others, gave students hands-on interdisciplinary experience in media innovation, product development, technology, and entrepreneurship.
There was a student the first year who said, I now understand that I can do the kind of entrepreneurial technology work that I want to do anywhere. So I'm going to go home to Cedar Rapids and do that.
Some students say the programs offer job-ready training that blended classroom learning with real-world experience. McCormick professor Neil Sells Griffin even hires students from the programs through Techstars, a venture capital firm where he serves as managing director.
Because I saw how effective it was at helping more students and more founders who are Northwestern alums get access to capital, connections, community, and support.
In a statement to NNN, the university said the closure comes as program demand no longer justifies maintaining a dedicated space.
The benefits were no longer great enough compared against the costs for us to continue that particular program.
Despite the program's closure, professors say 9 years in San Francisco helped build a strong, accessible alumni network in the heart of tech, a resource Northwestern students can still tap into.
I don't think it's going to make a material difference as far as, an individual student who's really motivated is going to be able to take advantage of the Northwestern community that's been built and established out here.
In Evanston, Alex Jones, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Alex, for your excellent reporting.
Funding cuts at the hand of the federal government made headlines several times this year, both around the country and right here at Northwestern. Our Lance Wilhelm is in studio now to break these cuts down as the academic year comes to a close. Lance?
Yeah, let me first say how great it is to be doing a big board segment while the big board master himself, Max Rothfeder, is here anchoring. So Max, I'll try to make you proud here. But yes, on federal funding cuts, we've heard a lot about them this year. So let's start with the big one, shall we? And that's, of course, that $790 million federal funding freeze that came down at the beginning of the quarter because of an ongoing civil rights investigation into allegations of anti-Semitism here at Northwestern. Those, of course, are allegations that Northwestern denies. But let's look at that number in some different ways as well. So according to an email sent at the beginning of this month by Dean Haggerty and Northwestern President Michael Schill, there have been a total of 98 stop work orders. Let me fix my 8 there. 98 stop work orders received by Northwestern researchers, and about 51 51 different grant terminations. Now, interestingly, a lot of these 98 stop work orders have had to do with the Department of Defense. And these 51 grant terminations, a lot of them actually came down before that big $790 million federal funding freeze. And you might be wondering, why federal funding cuts before that major federal funding freeze because of the allegations of anti-Semitism? Well, a lot of that has to do with DEI. So in addition to attacking universities across the country because of allegations of anti-Semitism, the Trump administration has, of course, also come down quite hard on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And that's the same here at Northwestern. So the National Institute of Health and the National Science Foundation have both cut a lot of funding when it comes to LGBTQ related research, as well as research related to race and gender breakdown. So the National Science Foundation alone, there have been around $15 million worth of federal funding cuts related to that. So my handwriting's really bad there, but you get the idea. But anyway, no small numbers going on here. And of course, there's a lot of uncertainty here still going into the summer. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you posted. Alexia?
Thank you, Lance, for that breakdown. We'll keep you posted as the funding saga continues.
After the break, NNN's Sammy Krimstein joins us to break down the latest in NU sports.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, go!
Welcome back. Now, while it's nice here in the studio, it was dreary and rainy outside now, wasn't it, Alexia?
It was, Max. I went to the zoo hoping for some warm weather and to see all the animals, and all the animals were inside, so it was bad.
Yeah, I wish I could have stayed inside, but I had to walk around and go to class today. But fortunately for us, NNN's chief meteorologist, Emmanuel Perez, is here with all the weather updates. Hopefully there's no more dust storms coming our way, but is the rain here to stay?
Yeah, honestly, it's going to stay here for us. Spring is here, so we could assure a lot of severe thunderstorms happening. Right now, we do have a low pressure system to the west of us, along with the cold front and a warm front to the south of us. This is allowing for tornadic activity in south central Illinois. Thankfully, here in northern Illinois, we're just experiencing scattered showers. Currently, it is 54 degrees with rainy conditions. Today's high is 54, so for the rest of the evening, our temperatures will lower down into the lower 50s. Locally, our temperatures remain the same. It is 54 degrees in Evanston, 54 degrees in Skokie, 55 at O'Hare Airport, 55 in downtown Chicago, and 56 at Midway Airport. Looking at our precipitation radar, we do have a rainy storm system pushing through Evanston. Now, as that low pressure system moves eastward, that back end of that system will bring additional showers into the entirety of Wednesday tomorrow. Onto our 5-day forecast. We are expecting below average temperatures across the week. Starting off on Wednesday, rainy conditions the entire day, temperature sitting at 51 degrees. Thursday, morning showers, then it'll be cloudy for the rest of the day with temperatures sitting at 52 degrees. Then Friday, opening that weekend up with partly cloudy skies and temperatures at 54. Then Saturday, scattered clouds with temperatures rising as high as 58 degrees. Then on Sunday, mainly cloudy skies with temperatures at 56.
Thanks, Emmanuel. I really hope we can get some 70s or 80s in the forecast. I was talking to my parents, 95 degrees in Texas right now. I hope it starts to feel like summer here soon.
For the next 2 weeks, the Fleetwood Jourdain Theater is holding showings of Honey Pot. Based on the book of the same name, the show details the real-life stories of queer Black women in the American South. The play also touches on topics including religion, sexuality, and political activism. The show will run from May 17th to June 1st, with tickets being $10 for students and $30 for general admission.
It's been an exciting last week in Northwestern sports. Northwestern's women's golf right now is competing in the NCAA championships in Carlsbad, California. After 4 rounds, the Cats sat in 3rd place at 2 over par, moving them into the match play portion of the event. They were led by Lauren Nguyen, who finished tied for 14th overall in the individual rankings at 2 under par. This morning, the Cats took on Arkansas in the quarterfinals, winning that match 3-2. The Cats are facing the Oregon Ducks in a tight semifinal matchup as we're on the air right now. Now, should the Cats win this matchup, they will play in the national championship match tomorrow afternoon. But the Cats in golf aren't the only ones who are in the Final Four of sorts, because lacrosse is in their Final Four as well. Northwestern lacrosse took on the University of Pennsylvania in the NCAA quarterfinals on the lakefront here in Evanston last week. The Cats came out strong with the first 4 goals and didn't trail for the rest of the game, finishing with a 17-12 victory. Northwestern's Maddie Taylor also set a single-season record with 105 goals. The Cats move on to the Final Four in Boston, where they'll face Boston College on Friday afternoon. Well, that's this week's breakdown of NU Sports, but there's a lot more to discuss, so here now with us is NNN's Sammy Krimstein. Now, Sammy, I want to go back to lacrosse for a second. So Northwestern is playing Boston College, as we just mentioned, in the semifinals on Friday, as they're looking for their 9th national championship. What are some of the keys that the Cats need in order to take down Boston College?
Yeah, really exciting matchup. These are 2 powerhouse programs. I was looking, all but 4 NCAA finals since 2005 have featured one of these 2 teams. So powerhouse programs, exciting matchup for sure. 2 keys that I have. 1, get the ball to Maddie Taylor. She's the all-time record holder, like you said, single season. The first time these 2 teams played, she did not have a shot on goal for the first 15 minutes of the game. Northwestern has to change that if they want to win. And number 2, late game execution. That's what it's all about. Boston College, they've lost 2 games so far this season, both to North Carolina, and both of those games they lost in the late stages. Northwestern is going to have to do everything right in those last few minutes, those last few seconds even. That's what could really make a big difference.
Now, it's been a roller coaster of the year for the Cats on all kinds of different places, on the diamond, on the field, on the court. What were some of the highlights of this academic year?
Man, there's too many to count. I mean, there were a lot of really fun moments. I'll give you 3. My first one is kind of towards the beginning of the season, and that was the opening of Northwestern's Lakeside Field. Really unique. I mean, really cool that we all get to be here for this, once in a generation sort of thing, this temporary stadium. So the first game at that field, one against Miami of Ohio to start the season, but the first one with students is the one I'm thinking of. That was against Indiana. All the students getting to see this really unique atmosphere. Very, very cool. Number 2, let's go to field hockey. National champions, right, for the 2nd time in program history, 2nd time in the past 5 years. Really exciting stuff. Tracy Fuchs has just turned this program around. And, of course, Ashley Sessa, the Olympian, just leading the way, leading the charge. So that was, how more exciting can you get than a national championship? Hopefully we get another one this weekend with lacrosse. And number 3, let's go to the basketball floor. Buzzer beater against Maryland. Nick Martinelli with that beautiful left-handed hook shot to put it on ice, 76-74. Really exciting game and a season that was up and down for the Cats, but a lot of really fun moments like that one.
That was a fantastic moment indeed. Now, looking ahead to the next school year, now Northwestern has some really big recruits in sports like football and basketball, where NIL is becoming really important and the transfer portal is starting to matter. Oh, yeah. Who are some of the big players coming out of high school, but also the transfer portal for the Cats?
Yeah, well, I want to start with the transfer portal and with football, and Preston Stone is a guy I'm really looking at. He is on track to be Northwestern's QB1 for next year, a transfer from Southern Methodist, and he didn't start last year. Of course, it was Kevin Jennings at SMU, Heisman candidate, really great year for him. But Preston Stone started the year before, and he threw over 25 touchdowns. So this is a guy who has plenty of college experience. I'm really excited to see what he can do here in Evanston, and I was at his pro day, or not his pro day, but Northwestern's open practice at the Lakeside Field, and he was looking very good, making some good deep throws, and consistency at the quarterback position is something that Northwestern did not have last season. That could be really huge. And you mentioned freshmen. Let's go to basketball now, and I'm really excited for Trey Singleton, the 4-star, the highest recruit in Northwestern program history, a part of a top 25 recruiting class for Northwestern. He is a very versatile player, 6'8". He could play almost any position. He could shoot, he could rebound. Just a very exciting prospect, and a huge deal that Northwestern was able to get him. He had offers from Purdue, Louisville, other basketball powerhouses. So he can come. I think he'll play as a freshman. I think he'll get a lot of minutes, and he's going to make a big impact. I'm very excited for both of those guys.
All right, well, I've certainly heard the excitement about Trey Singleton. Thanks, Sammy, for all of that analysis. For a full debrief on everything NU sports, you can also check out Sports Night, which airs every Thursday.
It's hard to pronounce, but even harder to do well, calisthenics. The lesser-known sibling to gymnastics is one NU sophomore's passion. NNN's Philip Lamb has more on this student who defies gravity at every practice.
Gravity fears 20-year-old Nathan Shee when he stumbled on a YouTube video during the pandemic of calisthenics athletes doing just that. He threw his hat in the ring.
Those were really interesting to me, and I was kind of like, oh, I kind of want to, get into that stuff.
5 years later, she says it's not the competition, but the people he meets that's most fulfilling.
People who are from completely different backgrounds, who have completely different interests with each other. You have people who come from New York, Florida, California.
It's also how he met one of his close friends.
11th grade, that's when I started getting interested in street workout, and we started training together.
But his training hasn't come without challenges.
I ended up tearing 2 ligaments in my left elbow. It's kind of like a permanent damage, but that taught me a lot about actually taking things seriously and not joking around.
With competition on pause, Shee has turned his sights to a new community, Northwestern's Gymnastics Club.
You really get to meet people of all kinds of different levels. You get to help people.
Gymnastics Club President Lily Hoyt has worked closely with Shee to foster an inclusive and welcoming community.
A lot of people who get to that kind of level, they can get really egotistical, but he's not like that at all. And even the members who are just starting out in practice, he's always there helping them.
Others point to his inspiring character, both as an athlete and as a mentor to others.
I think he did a move called a Victorian on 2 of the desks, and I was just like, wow.
He has a very goofy personality, and that makes him so much more approachable.
As he continues to push others to reach their fitness goals, Shee hopes to return to competitions in the near future. Philip Lamb, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Philip. Shee says he could compete as soon as next month in a televised competition and at a national round in August.
And in just 2 minutes, the carnival came to town this weekend. We've got all the details on the 53rd Dillo Day.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
You may have felt the rain on your skin last Thursday, but Saturday was a pocket full of sunshine. NNN's Jason Shing joins us with more. Jason?
Yes, Alexia. From cotton candy to merry-go-round animals, students dressed to impress at the 53rd Dillo Day. Watch this. Dillo Day brought the carnival to the Lakeville as students stepped in ready for the ride under the thrill of the lights.
We're having a great time.
From cartoon characters to clowns, students dressed up in outfits inspired by circuses and carnivals.
I am always saying that more is more. So for Dillo, I always like to show out. I thought it'd be fun to do like carnival candy. And I was kind of inspired by like Katy Perry, like, you know, her cupcake bra and like California Girls. I'm a California girl.
While DJ Amari King stirred up the crowd at the FMO second stage, student artists such as Pearl and the band Inertia performed on the main stage. Originally set to perform on the main stage at 6 p.m., rapper Big X The Plug canceled his set due to a scheduling conflict. Mayfest quickly announced Ian Dior as the new replacement daytime headliner.
It was fun to hear like some throwback songs, I think. Definitely a different vibe, but certainly a good replacement in my opinion.
The day continued with Raven Lene performing in the evening before headliner Natasha Bedingfield lit up the stage heading into the night. Despite mixed responses to Bedingfield beforehand, some students say her performance stole the show.
Everyone I know, like including the people that I was talking to as we exited Dillo Day, everyone thought she was incredible.
Natasha Bedingfield may have raised the bar for the next Dillo Day. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Jason, for your reporting. Now, did you enjoy your final Dillo Day, Alexia?
Oh my God, Max, it was awesome. My brother came to visit. I was with all my friends, but it's hard to believe that was our last one.
I know, I can't believe it's over, and this is also the last time we're anchoring the news together. NNN has been one of the highlights of my time at Northwestern. You know, met people 3 years before me, all the way to the freshmen and sophomores now. It's almost impossible to believe that this is the end.
Yeah, it's great people. It's a great team. And Max, it's been awesome working with you these past 4 years.
You as well. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight on the final Northwestern News Report of my journalism career and of the 2025-2026 academic school year. Be sure to join us for our special Chicago show coming up on June 3rd.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alexia Cadota Browner.
And I'm Max Rothfeder. Have a good evening. Good night.